Hello, friends. It's Chris Gordon for DJB Productions, and welcome to another killer episode of Unsung Heroes. Today, my guest is none other than Dan Parsels, vocalist, guitar player, bass player, all on this new single he's going to be talking about today. Killer track if you haven't heard it yet. But before we get to that, let's say hello to the man behind the wheel. It is Dan Parsels.
Hey, how are we? Parcells, just so you know.
Parcells. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, it's all good. Everybody does that.
Parcells.
I should spell it a different way. You know?
Oh, it's all good. So what's happening, man? I wanted to start off by congratulating you on your successful kidney transplant, which was, man, dude, how fucked up was that?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy to learn that. But yeah, it all went successful. Here I am a year later, basically. I got it done on the 29th last year. And all while the riots were going on, I was in the hospital, and I was like, "Oh my God, I hope Camden doesn't start burning down, and they got to move my ass." You know,
right.
I'm hooked up to all these machines, but luckily that didn't happen. But yeah, I mean, when you first find out about something like that, you're like, "Shit," you know. Now what? You got your life on hold.
Yeah, and we were in the middle of the shutdown at that time too.
Yeah, well, when I first learned, I mean, this was 2017, I think I was first diagnosed.
Okay.
So then I was on dialysis for 2 years at least.
Wow.
And that's a big pain in the ass.
How did, were you, during that time with dialysis, were you still performing? Were you still working as, playing? Or did it completely knock you out of the game for a while?
Yeah, pretty much did. Pretty much knocked me out of the game, knocked me, out of a lot of things. Had to be initially when you're on dialysis, you go to a center and you're there, and they take all the blood out of you,
wow,
run it through a machine, and then bring it back in to your body. So you're just totally drained. It takes like 5 hours of your day out.
Wow.
And you don't really feel like necessarily writing, or you have that free time of sitting there. But
right.
You don't necessarily feel like writing because you're like kind of feel dead. But
right, well, shit, they're taking your blood out and putting it back in.
Yeah, and then eventually it became. I was able to do it at my house when I went to sleep. They call it peritoneal dialysis. So I had a tube like sticking out of my stomach that was like 2 feet long, and then I had to sleep with this thing, and I had to be on it for 9.5 hours total.
Wow.
And that was every night, and it was hard to travel. At least luckily I live close to Atlantic City, so and the shore and the beach. So that was the extent of my travel and getaways during that time. But
right.
Now I got the kidney, feeling good. Before the kidney, I knew it was going to happen one day, that I would get a transplant. So I kind of prepared myself in getting like some musical equipment. I never recorded at home before.
Right.
So I wanted to be able to do that while I was laid up. And then I didn't know about the pandemic too, but
Well, shout out to the donor, right?
Yeah, it was a deceased person. So
well,
yeah, good for me.
Yep. Yeah.
And
so during your recovery, as you were, after the transplant, as you were recovering, was any of that part of the driving force behind the some of the new song, the writing process?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I could have been a goner, and I also want to use my time wisely. Once I did get the kidney, I wanted to. I always felt like I never had enough music recorded for when I am gone. People can listen to me, while I'm. One day I won't be here, so I want people to remember.
That's an interesting point. I was talking about to a friend of mine the other day, and I used this particular saying, and I was going to ask you about it because, being an original musician myself, your original music is your key to immortality. It's really what we have.
Yeah, exactly. That's the exactly what I was thinking about it. Immortality. It is a way you could live forever. So, I mean, I played a million shows. I've done that. Clubs, big and small.
Mm-hmm.
But I just felt like I do need more on recorded.
Right, your own stuff. So
Yeah.
were you always
So,
writing, or was it? I mean, it's what I mean by that is even in the early days, or is it because obviously we were probably both out doing a lot of covers, got bills to pay,
right. Yeah.
But were
No,
you
I never.
always a writer primarily?
Yes. Well, my biggest influence is Kiss, and growing up, I would listen to everything that they say and take it as gospel. So
Right.
I was always into original music, always writing original music, even from when I started guitar, like just playing by ear. I've always played by ear. And yeah, I never actually really played covers. I've done tribute bands. I've done a Rat tribute band is like my a gig I do every now and then with
Okay.
some guys. And then I did a Poison tribute band a little bit, but I never did like a full cover gig. So
Okay.
my
So
my
they
other
were always specific.
yeah, always just tribute, and then always just original music since I was a teenager until now.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely my preface.
Right.
And I'm really digging this track. I got to listen to it this morning, listened to it last night
Great,
for a
yeah.
bit. You played everything on this.
Yeah,
Except for the drums, right? The drums.
Yeah, my friend Damian MonteCarlo played on the drums.
Right, he did the
On
drums,
that track, yeah.
But you did everything else. Where'd you record it?
I just did it at my house.
Nice.
And my cousin, he mixed and mastered it, and he kind of taught me a few things about Cakewalk, free program. I never recorded anything, so I wasn't going to spend a ton of money like on something I didn't know how to do. So I just used Cakewalk, which is free. I got this and that, a mic. I bought myself a bass, and I just by trial and error just did it myself.
Nice. That's still my preferred way of doing things. I guess I'm
Sure,
too much of a. I don't want to. Maybe control freak's too much of a word, but maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, you know what you like, and you know what you like, and you know what you want. So.
Well, I'm also one of those guys that it's like I'm kind of teased. I'm kind of like the Zappa guy, where I disappear into my studio here, and I'll do 8-9 hours at a stretch and not even know what happened. And it depends.
Yeah, time flies. When you're recording it.
And then you get into all of the production aspects of it. You'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So when you what was that?
No, go ahead.
So the Dan Parsels. So it's going to be this name. Are you assembling a band for this for any possible live shows later, or is there more in the can ready to come out? Because I know we're talking about the single.
Right.
There's not an album as of yet, but is that the plan?
No album as of yet. I mean, this is almost like a first dipping my feet into the water type thing.
Okay.
Having the song on streaming services. I mean, if it was up to me, I'd still go and make a CD or a record,
Right.
Kind of old school, but I'm trying to, figure all this new stuff out. I'm not very tech savvy, but
it's cool though. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of a cool way to go. I get it. I mean, I'm the same way. I would prefer just to put out slabs. I miss vinyl. I still own a shit ton of it and play it. There's nothing like it, but I get it. And it all again, speaking on the way you did this, I mean, obviously you played 3/4 of everything on it, except for the drums, obviously, but just what I do embrace about the technology of today with especially with composing, with writing, is the flow, the workflow. I mean, I think it's a sacrifice, your workflow can speed up. I work with people all over the country, especially singers. So it's just, here it is. You got 24 hours to get me a track back so I can start mixing. That's great. Yeah. But you do sacrifice being in the band, in a room with the guys or girls, and just creating that vibe. that never doesn't always quite come across in other ways. Though I will say, dude, I mean, it's great to hear this track of yours, which actually I think we're going to play, because I really, I mean, obviously you had Damian on drums and stuff, but like, it's like, wow, this doesn't sound like a very myopic thing. This sounds like a band. It sounds like a group playing together.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to sound edgy, and not, overproduced. But I put some time into it, and when I send the tracks over to Damian, we've worked together. He's in the Rat tribute band with me whenever we do that. We've done original music together on and off, and so when I, send him the tracks, he knows pretty much exactly what I'm going for. And then I could just say, oh, instead of this here, can you play it like this? And then it's like done in a day, so easy. So,
and he tracks his stuff at his place, then you take the files back. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. And that, with the pandemic, that's kind of how, we weren't really getting into a room together with anybody. But yeah, I mean, I prefer, if we jammed on these songs for 6 months or something, it might be a little different. But I arranged the song, wrote it, and I took some time with it. Make sure it sounded what I wanted it to sound like. And I never really did bass on a track, but I bought a bass, and now I'm a little bit better than I was before. So
well, the recording medium has always been, it was always my go-to at the end. That's, really where I learned harmony and was able to apply things like that. Because I was, I was forced to in the studio, so, double tracking things to get different sounds, it was, and I guess that's the rabbit hole. So like, it's funny because when the pandemic hit, I, except for not doing shows anymore, which, obviously is a kick in the balls. I mean, that sucks. You want to play, but my productivity tripled because it was like, I got nothing else to do. I better do this. It's either that or I'm going to drink myself into a coma. So let's make something happen.
About that too.
It's crazy stuff, but it's good. It's great stuff. So let me ask you this. I'm going to ask one more nerdy tech question on this song. Because that's just what I do. How were the guitars tracked? How were they recorded?
I went through a Line 6 interface basically, and that was it. Right into the
into the DAW.
Program. Yeah, that was it. Pretty basic,
Oh, it's effective.
I used. I got a new LTD PS1000. It's like has a F hole cut out of it.
Yeah,
it's like a semi hollow electric. And then a Les Paul for my rhythm track. Basically, I did the two guitars to give it some dimension.
Yeah.
And then I bought myself a Thunderbird bass, so in case I ever play out live or something, it looks cool. Yeah,
they're great.
If anybody needs a bass player or something.
Well, my UFO tribute band, it's always great to have somebody playing a Thunderbird like Pete Way did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I was doing the tribute thing for quite a while. I did get away from the covers and was just doing tributes, but I was doing off the road tributes. Like I had the Ingve tribute, I had the UFO tribute. I mean, shit that nobody, like, who does that? Like I wasn't doing anything mainstream at all.
Right. Yeah. Well, I know. I mean,
it's kind of like random.
I wouldn't want to do anything that I didn't like. That's the problem. Always been the problem with me and doing covers. I mean, like it's hard for me to play shit that I just am not into.
Right.
So that's why the tribute thing is a little better.
Well, yeah, but it's also good from a marketing standpoint too, because people know what they're coming to see.
Yeah, definitely. And then you
go to see a cover band, you could be seeing anything. We don't know.
Yeah. And then
it's like an a la carte menu. It's like, I don't know what's going to be on the menu.
Yeah, really. Tributes you could always pair up with other tribute bands, and then people get a package.
Yeah, that's what we did. It was the only way for us because we had to get another tribute band that was a little bit more mainstream. And it always one hand washed the other in that regard.
Right, yeah.
So always a good time. So do you have any, getting back to the original thing, because I want to play this track because it's so badass. Like I said, it's a fucking earworm.
Cool, thanks.
What else Oh, and you've continued to write. You've got. I mean, I'm not saying you've recorded it, but you're continuing to write.
Yeah,
Did you shoot a video for this? By the way, I was going to ask that.
no,
Like,
this is just like almost like a kind of a test, see how it goes, and then see where the song takes me. Just wanted people to hear this. I thought it was a real cool groove and guitar riff.
mm-hmm.
So kind of, testing the waters with this, and then I have 2 other songs recorded, and I'm going to get them, mixed and mastered next, and get that ball rolling, and that they'll be out maybe later in the summer, early fall. And then I got so many other ideas too. I sent a track over to Kaz, who you had on the show the other day. I sent him a song I arranged, and then I'm going to have him maybe write the lyrics and sing on a tune or something. But as for me, yeah, I'm going to do at least 3 singles, and then see what happens.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good, man. Well, we're gonna play this track. You Take My Breath Away, not by Dan Parsels. See, I'm getting better at that name. I'm fucking getting better at that name. I'm telling you, man. I'm a quick learner.
There you go.
All right, Dan, fire that thing up.
your love tonight. Take my hand, it will be alright. Hold on to me with all your might. We'll get through it all, fade into the night. Get through it all, take my breath away.
Dan Parcells. So it's actually Take My Breath Away.
That's it.
I'm putting the U in there.
That's okay.
No, it's not okay because it's not going to help. It's not going to help people search that tune. Where are they finding it? You're on every streaming platform right now, right?
Yes. Yeah, you got a point there. So Take My Breath Away, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube. I've gotten a lot of hits on YouTube already.
Yeah,
over
that's good.
1,000 in one day on YouTube. So,
Oh, beautiful.
and yeah, Spotify. What else are the kids listening to these days?
What are the kids? What are these kids, crazy kids, listening to?
Yeah, YouTube.
I heard
Music
some.
is one,
I heard
you
some
know,
great. Yeah, well, you had Apple Music.
iTunes. Yeah, all that stuff.
That's awesome. That's cool. Now, is there a way? Is there any direct way to get your music, like a Bandcamp or a URL that's yours?
I have a link tree.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's Linktree, and then my name Dan Parcells, and
Remember,
yeah,
kids, it's Parcells.
yeah,
Do
That's
not
right.
fuck that up. Obviously, we're going to put every single link in the description so you can click on
Great,
your
yeah.
listening platform of choice. I was just curious,
Exactly.
a link tree too, that we'll get that up so people can, because it's always great if fans and people want to buy from you directly. That's always a good option too. That way there's that connection.
Right.
When I sold my
then-
record, I did that, and everyone who bought from me directly, I sent them a free bonus track that wasn't on the record. It was kind of like a
there you
little.
go.
It was like an Easter egg.
Yeah, that's good. That's what you need to do. People
It's fun.
appreciate that stuff,
Yeah, it's always a good
Something
time.
a little special. And then on my link tree, you could also book your hair appointment too.
Yeah, so you're the man about hair. Where is it where are you currently sculpting the hairs of the future?
It's called Paige Reese Salon and Spa. It's in Cinnaminson, New Jersey, probably 15 minutes from Philadelphia. We do everything: haircut, color, massage, facials, pedicure. For me, I just do the hair. I just do cut and color, keratin.
Yep.
I take care of the ladies most of the time, but I do men
Taking care of the
as well.
ladies. Okay. All right. Cool.
I got to keep the ladies looking beautiful for guys like you, Chris,
Oh, there you go. Right. That's exactly what needs to happen.
Well, you want something nice to look at while you're walking around,
Well, I'm still I go to a barber and I get the straight razor, and it's funny because it's man, it's these crazy women. They're fantastic, and they're crazy women, and they're making jokes, goofing off, and there's a straight razor at my throat. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, man. I ain't gonna even, No, it's always a great time.
Yeah, my fiance's a barber, so I know all about that,
Yeah, it's great. They want to come on the air with me, and I'm like, I couldn't hit the dump button fast enough with you crazy women. You're out of your mind. But it's a great thing. Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. So you're engaged to be married. That's awesome.
Yeah, one of these days,
I've been married for 3 years. I love it.
You've been married 3 years, you say?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
I mean, I've known her since '91. It took me long enough.
Yeah. Well, we've been together 10 years, so I got, I got the Gene Simmons kind of thing,
Okay.
Right.
I was going to say that with your track. Like I did hear some Kiss influence in that track.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Nothing was blatant. It was great, but there was that one sequence of chords that I was like, oh, I hear that. You know, sonically there was something about it that reminded me a little bit of the Creatures of the Night era, which was one of my favorite Sonic albums by them because it was such a hit. I mean, in the face after like listening to Unmasked, because I grew up. I mean, Kiss. You know, you're speaking my language. I mean, but then Unmasked, and I had that import. I had the Killers import.
Okay.
The Kiss Killers import, which has some tracks on it, and then Creatures of the Night comes out, and that opening track, and I'm like, "What?" So somebody found the volume knob. Somebody found the distortion.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I love it all. I mean, Creatures is definitely one of my favorites, but I love Unmasked too. So
no, I love those tunes. I love those tunes, and I love how Ace stepped up because, like, through one Dynasty into Unmasked, like Ace, I think Ace was practically songwriting wise leading the band at that point.
Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of tracks on Unmasked, and then he had more tracks on those than he did previously.
Yeah. So, are you a collaborative guy, or when you write, is it you? Like, this is your, you into that mode where where it's going to what it's sounding like before you're even finished it.
No, I definitely think I work better with people. I did co-write these lyrics with a guy named Rich DeLise, who is in the Rat and Roll tribute band with me. So if I feel like a bump in the road, I could text him, and he's always got ideas. And then like I could just, he gets me. Just I'd like to bounce my ideas off people, and once I hear something that they say, I could just like run with it.
Yeah.
Or I'll have the melody, and then he'll write some words maybe, and I'm like, well, it doesn't quite fit, but I could work around it and fit it in, and then add words, take away,
Mm-hmm. No,
so I'm always open because I know I don't know everything. So.
Well, none of us do, but I think the lightning in the bottle is finding that connection, into the. Yeah. That's awesome. That's really cool. And wanted to ask one more thing. So what are your next shows that you have coming up? And I'm speaking generally here with whatever you're doing.
Right. Generally, well, I did just do a podcast that's going to be airing this week. It's called Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes, and that's by Bert Lepore, Damian MonteCarlo, and Angry Mike. They're all Philly guys, and Bert and Damian are in the band MonteCarlo, and I actually just was asked to be in their video that they just shot last week.
Oh, was that up by the Ben Franklin? Was that up by the?
Yeah, it was a FDR, the skate.
Oh, the FDR. I'm sorry, and that's with Ahmed, right? Ahmed Smith.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I toured with him with Bam Margera when I was playing guitar for Bam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ahmed and I go back. He's a funny dude, man. We always loved hanging out together.
Yeah, he's really cool. That was the first time I met him in person. We maybe chat online before or something briefly, but yeah, he was totally cool. We got along great, and we're rocking out next to each other in the video, and it's gonna be awesome. The band's called MonteCarlo, and the song's called Animal.
Nice.
And, that song's available on all the platforms as well, Spotify, and then the video will come out hopefully in a week or two. I'm hoping, and I'm really excited to see that. And they asked me to be a part of it, and I was really honored, because those guys are really all talented musicians.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I'd like to see. It'd be nice to see a video for this tune.
Yeah, we'll see what is next. I mean, maybe this tune or another tune in the future. I don't have any live shows planned, but I'm not opposed. I'm just kind of seeing. I'm kind of open to see what is next as far as where I go.
Right.
I just
the good
songs out. But.
Awesome, and the good news is that we have documentation of at least where you're headed, which is great.
Yeah, and if the kidney doesn't last that long, at least I did this podcast and made one song, right?
Oh well, it's a good song, man. It's like we lob the ball as far as we can, and then we just keep doing what we do. That's the beautiful thing about it. And it's a great track, and I'm glad we got to play it today. And people now know where to find it. And Dan, of course, it's great to connect with you and hang out. and me to actually learn the pronunciation of your last name, which is always great.
Yeah.
Love learning that shit.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll have to have a drink in person sometime.
Yes, that could be dangerous. But in a good way. It'll be fun. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we'll connect. It'll be a great time. And thanks again for joining us and doing this today. Like I said, Dan's at, where are you working today? So,
Page Reese Salon. It's in Cinnaminson, full salon, spa, the whole deal. Page Reese.
All right, ladies.
New Jersey.
You know where to go.
That's right.
You know where to go. All right, Dan. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Parsels.
See you, everybody.
Check out this tune. Click on those links. Download this tune. It's a great tune. And I will see you again on the next episode of Unsung Heroes. Peace.